The NASCAR Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by EdgeBoost. EdgeBoost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today.
Driver! Start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
We promised you there'd be more this week, and of course, we deliver on our promises. It is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. It may be All-Star Week for the big boys, but the Truck Series race will be running a points-paying race at North Wilkesboro. But Cody, it almost feels as if it's a little unfair because it's an All-Star Week. It gives the bigger guys a chance to kind of participate in a way that they're going to participate in droves this week. There are a ton of Cup Series regulars that will be taking part in this truck race. So, I mean, as much as the All-Star race, Cody, is a crapshoot already, I feel like this truck race is just a good luck, everybody.
Yeah, it almost is kind of that way. So, like, these guys, obviously, nobody's really spent time on North Wilkesboro, and they're trying to figure out, and there's nothing super comparable. So don't have a ton to lean on, right? And so these guys are trying to get every lap they can. There's guys running in the ASA race. There's guys running in the Cars Tour race. They're in the late models, like just trying to get on track time. Truck Series is running here. It's another great way to get some time. Plus, obviously, just everything around how everything is this weekend. Guys want to be out on this track, want to be racing. Going to be a fun weekend of races. Going to be fun racing. I'm expecting a very, very good truck race, but like you said, loaded field on the entry list. There's 40 entries for 36 spots, so of course 4 trucks will go home. But notable entries: Bubba Wallace back in the 1 truck. Kyle Larson is in the 7 truck. Alex Bowman originally scheduled to drive that, but of course he's out with his injury. Chastain back in the 41 again. William Byron in the 51, Christopher Bell in the 61, which is a Hattori truck. And then Josh Williams, the Xfinity driver, who, of course, famously parked it on the front stretch.
Park it, Joe.
He's going to be in the 22 truck.
Yeah, and again, this is going to make things very interesting. Obviously, you said seat time is at a premium, especially on this track. So anything you can get to maneuver this. The trucks haven't been here in a very long time as well. So this is all brand new to, I don't know that anybody, right, has been, any of the truck drivers have been.
I wouldn't think so. I was trying to
Craftsman
find.
would be the only one.
I mean, Craftsman potentially, yeah, because he's basically been around since the series started. So he actually might. I'll have to look up here and see. I don't have when the last time they raced here, but as far as Cup Series guys goes,
I've got this. I've got Truck Series recap. 95, 96, the only 2
years. I think that was before Matt, because he's only been in there for 23 seasons, I think, which would be about 2000.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's not even any Cup guys that have been on it. I mean, because it was 96 was the last time the Cup Series raced there as well, and so yeah, this is all brand new to everybody. So even Matt Crafton, with his 23 years of experience in the Truck Series, not been on North Wilkesboro in a truck, at least not anytime lately for sure. So, yeah, it's man, it's gonna make it exciting, gonna make it fun. Obviously, you throw the Cup guys in here. We know that throws wrenches into things, but how many times have we seen Cup guys in these races this season and they haven't won the race? Just saw it last week at Darlington, right? Christian Eckes ends up in victory lane, despite multiple Cup guys being in that truck race. And who knows? Maybe we'll see the same thing this week, but I don't think it's automatically just take the Cup guys at all. I'm definitely not leaning that way. I should probably look at your bets and see if you're leaning that way. But yeah, it's no, you're ish maybe. But again,
Ish.
you gotta figure out which Cup guy to bet on, right? That's the problem when you got, because it's not just one really good guy. I mean, Byron and Larson are both in this race, so that alone right there is already a tough matchup. So it's gonna be a really fun race. I mean, again, like just the whole coming off the throwback at Darlington last week, and then we're going to North Wilkesboro, one of the legendary tracks, had been around in NASCAR forever, was left to die. Now it's been revived. Everything about it is great. Going to be a fun weekend as we continue to celebrate 75 years of NASCAR.
Truck short track racing in and of itself is a spectacle, right? But then you add this track, this particular track to it. Now it's an unfamiliar distance. It's an unfamiliar terrain as far as we talked about it in the Cup betting episode. I mean, this thing runs like a roller coaster more than it does a racetrack. There's elevated front stretch. It's like a mini road course in an oval shape, right? Plus you've got cracks in the track and dilapidated stuff going on. So, I mean, this is, like we said, for the Cup Series race. This approach this as something you have fun with, something to enjoy. Don't go heavy. Put a little something on something you want to see. We'll obviously give you our picks, but don't go overboard on this race in particular.
And there's no comparable tracks. There's nothing to compare it to. So again, you're kind of just going on feel, kind of going on how guys have been this season. Whose style might fit this race. It is the Tyson 250, but it's only 250 laps, which means it's only 156 miles. So like we've talked about in the past, like intensity is going to be ramping up from the drop of the green flag, and it's going to be balls to the wall right from the start.
Yep. I mean, this is definitely going to be a sprint to the end. All right, step away. I think we should just get right to the bets. I don't think we should mess around. Let's just get to the bets when we get back from the break. But let's tell you about EdgeBoost. SGPN is excited to announce an exclusive early access partnership with EdgeBoost, the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Similar to buy now, pay later programs like Affirm and Afterpay, EdgeBoost enables you to double your bet with no interest and pay back the advance over 4 equal weekly installments. That's right, 0% interest. You did hear me correctly. Simply deposit funds into your account and EdgeBoost will match the deposit so you can use 2 times the fun on funds. I always say fun. 2 times the funds on any legal sports betting site. It is fun to use. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in advances as you build a repayment history. My Edge double down boost play of the day is, I'll give that to you later. Don't worry about that. With the special offer, the first 500 SGPN users is going to start with a $1,000 advance limit, and the next 2,500 users will start with $500. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to sign up today. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. Must be 21 years or older to use. Only valid in legal gambling states. Problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, so as we said with this race, there are several Cup Series regulars in this, so we're going to navigate those waters accordingly. We're going to give you bets that still involve that. We're not going heavy on the regulars, although I've got quite a few on the regulars because I think the couple that I got are a little bit fun to pick on. So we'll see how this shakes out. Obviously, we don't know, but this will be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like again, the All-Star race, it's an exhibition. You kind of got to treat it slightly differently. But when it comes to the truck race, like for these Truck Series regulars, this is just another week for them. The points pay the same as they do everywhere else. And so they're going to be going for it. So I feel pretty confident in some of the bets we found here. I'm going to start with my guy, Corey Heim, taking him over Bubba Wallace, -110. This is nothing against Bubba. Bubba ran in this one truck last week, had a very good run, finished 7th, just a normal day. Wasn't ever like a super threat to win, wasn't ever super fast. Just a nice solid day. He's just out there to kind of get some laps. I don't know that he's necessarily in a winning truck. They are teammates, I guess, in these trucks. But Heim has been fast every week, especially lately. Finished 8th last week at Darlington, led 66 laps. Probably should have won the race and cashed our 18-1 if his crew chief wasn't an idiot. That's the only part of this that makes me wonder, because he still has the same crew chief. Hopefully that guy got the shit slapped out of him this week and figures out what he's doing. But the week before, second place in Kansas. The week before, or the race before that, rather, I guess, won at Martinsville, led 82 laps that day, and that was a rain-shortened race. They only got about half of that race in. Kyle Busch was even in that race, still beat him, led all those laps. He had a 15th place at Bristol Dirt, which is his worst non-super speedway finish of the entire season. Heim has been fast. He's been good. 7th at Texas, 6th at Coda, 4th at Vegas. He has been good week in and week out. He's been fast week in and week out. We saw it last year. He won Rookie of the Year, won multiple races, running a part-time schedule. Now he's full-time. He's been good every week. Again, I expect Bubba to probably have a top 10 day, maybe a little closer to 10th with all these other Cup guys in there. But I expect him to have a good day, but I expect Heim to have an elite day. He's going to be up front most of the day, I think. So minus 110, give me Corey Heim over Bubba Wallace. And that one's over on Caesars.
The 111 car, or the 111 vehicle that you can actually say the name of. I know that works for you. You just enjoy being able to say it. That's all there is.
Yeah, there you go. I guess. Yeah, I'm on 11 car multiple ways this week because I can say Denny's name.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can.
But go back and listen to the Cup Series show. I'm on him too. Maybe it's an 11 weekend.
It must be an 11 weekend. All right. So
bad 11 isn't driving.
No, he's off.
He's at home this week. We don't have to think about him, thankfully.
He's probably thankful too for that. All right. So my first bet is Carson Hocevar over Nick Sanchez. This is at minus 120. Here's my reasoning on this one. And it's just Carson Hocevar. We know what a talent he is. And in fact, he's already won a truck race this season, to where Nick Sanchez has not. Average finish wise, Sanchez has had the better season. I mean, he's averaging 14.1 per season, where Hocevar is at 19.1. But listen, Hocevar has not finished 3 races this season. Now Sanchez is not finished 2. But for me, if this track, it presents a unique opportunity, right? It's something that no one has ever seen before. So I'm going to lean on a little bit more of the veteran status of Carson Hocevar as far as racing cars, not racing trucks per se, but as far as racing is concerned. Hocevar obviously has been in, I think, NASCAR a little bit longer than Nick Sanchez has. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he pulls out a decent enough finish to finish better than Sanchez. Of course, that's not to say that Sanchez doesn't have a good truck, but something about Hocevar and that talent, right? I feel like this is a great opportunity for him to be able to break through again. You saw it last week at Darlington, right? Nowhere was Hocevar should not have finished in 5th place, but he found a way to outlast everything and end up finishing in 5th place. That is the resiliency of a Carson Hocevar. And I think if he gets to show it to us this week, then he will. And I trust him better than Sanchez, because even though Sanchez has a better finish, it just feels like he gets caught up more in stuff. Like something happens and he seems his truck is in that mix, right? So I feel like this is a better opportunity for Carson Hocevar to come out. He's at minus 120 to come out on top of Nick Sanchez. So again, with all of these Cup drivers in here too, I don't know, but give me the experience of Carson Hocevar over Nick Sanchez.
I pulled back and forth on this one a little. I was gonna take it, but I couldn't make up my mind on which side. But I do like the Carson Hocevar side. This is his type of track, his type of racing. He's in the ASA race today in the late models, so he's gonna have experience already on the track just from that. I think he can translate that. But he's a late model stock type of guy. That's what he races all the time. That's where he comes from. So I think that plays in his advantage. Sanchez has been good all season. He's had a lot of speed, so that gives me a little hesitation. But if I have to pick a side, I think I'm going to go with the Hocevar side as well. So I can't blame you there. Next up for me, Zane Smith, top 5 plus money, plus 120. Yes, I know that there is multiple Cup guys in this that should be good, but we know how good Zane Smith is. He had a bad week last week. I get it. Didn't show up very good at Darlington. His track history is not there. Just must not be his style of track. I don't care. He's good almost everywhere else, and he's good week in and week out. So we're going to skip over Darlington last week where he finishes 22nd, but third place at Kansas, third place at Martinsville. He won the race back at Coda, second place at Vegas. He won at Darlington, or at Daytona rather, early this season. He's got 5 top 5 finishes in the 9 races so far this season on all different styles of tracks. I think he's going to keep that up this week. We know he's the best. I mean, I don't think it's really arguable. He's the best talent and in the best truck that's out there. And there's been some guys that are giving him his run for his money this year, right? Heim has done it. Eckes has done it for sure. But Zane Smith is still the top dog of the regulars. And, maybe a Byron or a Larson beats him. Honestly, those are probably the only two that I really think have the best chance to just flat out beat him. Bell's in a Hattori truck. We've seen, I think Hattori won the championship a few years ago with Austin Hill, but I don't really know fully what to expect from that. I assume there's probably some Joe Gibbs help there, but so he'll probably be decent. But I think Zane Smith is easily a top 5 car. A plus money just makes way too much sense for me.
Love Zane Smith. You'll never, ever convince me to not take a bet on Zane Smith because he can always pull something through. And obviously we'll throw out last week where he didn't pull out something through.
It happens, right?
But it definitely happens. And in a situation like this where, almost everybody's on equal ground, not knowing this track very well, Zane Smith at least has the opportunity to hang with the big dogs. All right, we'll continue to finish up our bets, but we do have to step away for a break to tell you about Shady Rays. Shady Rays is teaming up with SGPN for Shady May. Not only do you get an amazing 50% off, but you also have a chance to win $500 with our contest. Shady Rays has got you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and so much more. Shady Rays have durable frames and extremely clear optics for all of your outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every single pair of sunglasses you buy is backed by lost and broken replacements. That means if you break a pair, lose a pair, even on day one, they told us they're going to send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Wear those Shady Rays with confidence because they got your back long after your purchase. And if you don't love them, don't know why, but if you don't, exchange it for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. No risk when you shop with Shady Rays. That team's always got your back. For our international listeners, don't worry. Shady Rays got you covered too with shipping to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the code SGPN for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Then take that receipt to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500 Shady May contest. So this next bet, it doesn't necessarily fly in the face of yours, but we can all win even if Enfinger is over Heim and Heim finishes over Bubba. I've got Grant Enfinger over Corey Heim at -115. No doubt whatsoever that Corey's going to get a solid finish. I definitely see that. You made the case for him just a second ago. But my biggest thing is that Grant Enfinger, it's like a powder keg. He feels to me like just something he's about to blow up and do great things for the rest of the season. I just feel like it's just been under the surface, right? Started out great, 5th place at Daytona, 9th at Las Vegas, fell on hard times in Atlanta, 19th, Austin, 12th, Fort Worth, 7th or 17th rather. But on Bristol Dirt, turned it around for a 5th place finish. So one of the only short tracks that we've kind of been on, and granted it's dirt, but again, in a situation where it's a track that is different than your normal short track. This is different than your normal short track, right? It doesn't have dirt on it. Well, okay. It had dirt on it. They've cleared it away, but it's not a dirt track, right? It's a little bit something different. So, and really these two drivers, their course has been so close together with really Heim at a 9.4 average finish this season and Enfinger 10.7. Just absolutely, and each has a win. Enfinger has 4 top 10s, 3 top 5s. Heim has 7 top 10s, 3 top 5s. But where I'm kind of basing mine on too right now is over the last 3 races, Enfinger has actually led more laps than has Heim. Enfinger has led, 82 laps at Martinsville, 13 at Kansas. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Corey Heim. So, yeah, anyways, I'm contradicting myself. I'm reading the wrong ones. Corey Heim has led more laps, but I still feel like Grant Enfinger is a powder keg waiting to blow up.
Yeah, I feel like Enfinger won IRP last season, kind of out of nowhere, kind of like this Kansas win a couple of weeks ago. So maybe that shorter, I don't want to necessarily call North Wilkesboro a bull ring, but the shorter track might fit his MO. I'm really high on Heim this week, so it'd be tough for me to go with that one, but we'll see. You could still catch some of these other ones and hit that one as well. So next up for me, I'm going with our favorite Canadian, Stuart Friesen over Ben Rhodes. This is -110 over on Superbook. For me, this is just Ben Rhodes. It's been real iffy this season. Like, you go back through his results: 18th at Darlington, 16th at Kansas, a nice solid 6th place run at Martinsville. But he had a 3rd place back at Vegas. But otherwise, he's only finished better than 10th in 2 non-super speedway races this entire season. Friesen, it's also been fairly rough for him overall this season, but the crew chief left. Now it's crew chief by committee, aka Stuart Friesen is making the call. The crew chief calls from the cockpit, and things have turned around very quickly since they've made that change. And that's been over the last 2 races: 2nd at Darlington, 4th at Kansas. I don't need to look any farther than that. Since that change where he has taken over looking at it or making the decisions from inside the cockpit and his, whatever, other people that are helping inform him, but leaving the decisions up to him, it's been a completely different guy. Both of those tracks, high tire wear, he's done very good there. Oddly enough, I had a dream about Stuart Friesen last night, Rod. It was very strange, but I can't ignore feelings like that. So give me some Stuart Friesen over Ben Rhodes. Again, I think just what he's done lately compared to how kind of rough of a season it's been for Rhodes. And again, it's been a rough season for both guys. I don't want to throw out how bad Friesen's been over some races, but I think they've figured it out. They're getting it going. Rhodes is a guy you can't really count out anywhere. He's good on all types of tracks in general, but struggling this season. I think that this will fit into Friesen's driving style. Again, he's a dirt guy, aggressive, knows how to maneuver the car, slide around a little. I think you're going to see a lot of that here as tires wear, especially. So give me Friesen over Rhodes -110.
I love it. I mean, it's my favorite Canadian. I can't fault you on that one. And it is disappointing though to have Ben Rhodes struggle as much as he has, because again, that's another driver that you is good and that he can get it done. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, it just hasn't really come to fruition for him. All right, this is my one where I'm going to pick on the veterans. I'm going to pick on the Cup drivers here. I found this one, and I like this one because it's a plus money, and it's William Byron over Kyle Larson at +105 over there on Caesars. I mean, look, I know, and I don't even have to sit here and tell you about Kyle Larson's resume and how he can drive anything and win on anything that has 4 wheels, 2 wheels, no wheels. I don't know, whatever, right? It's Kyle Larson. I don't got to back that up with stats. But I will say that William Byron has been very impressive in the Truck Series in the 2 races that he's won he's run this season. In Bristol, he started 14th, climbed his way to a 3rd place finish. In Darlington, dude had to literally come back from a million different issues to finish 4th in that race, and probably could have won it too had the situation been a little bit different. So I think that 51 truck, he's going to be in that 51 truck. Larson's going to be in the 7. That gives me pause, right? That's the only one thing. I know Spire is not as bad of a team, but
it's going to be a Hendrick truck.
Well, okay,
I mean, it's a Spire truck, but
you're right. But it's still, KBM is still, elite equipment in the Truck Series too. So whether it's a Hendrick prepared truck, KBM is always KBM prepared. You know what I'm saying? So, and William Byron and Kyle Larson, they've had their battles on the track. But look, Bob Pockris picked Willie B to win the All-Star race. So I think he can get it done on the truck side of it too, if that's all things are equal, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you put these guys together, and we know that at this point, you have to make the argument that they're basically equal. I mean, we've always treated in the past, it was always Larson and Elliott, and then Byron and Bowman were kind of third and fourth string, but Byron has inserted himself as one of those top guys. He's the only guy in the Cup Series with 3 wins this season. He's been very impressive. I wish I would have saved it. I saw a stat today. He's tied Ryan Blaney with it's either 7 or 8 career wins and done it in like 100 less races, which is crazy. But Byron, I mean, he's making a case that he's one of the top guys as well. We saw him run decently last week in the Truck Series at Darlington as well. Obviously didn't get the win, but had a good day. Larson doesn't have a ton of starts in the trucks, so that's something. I mean, I know the guy can get in anything and win anywhere, right? He never started a dirt modified race until a few weeks ago too, and he won that race, of course. So we know he can do it, but getting one of these guys at plus money, I think you can't really go wrong there. They should be fairly equal, I think, head to head. The KBM trucks we know are still some of the best in the field. And yes, the Spire truck is going to be probably Hendrick helped, but they don't run every week. And so there is that element of it as well. So I don't think you can go wrong as far as taking either one of these guys if you're getting plus money. And so William Byron, I would argue, is just going to be just as good as Larson is. So yeah, give me the Byron side as well. I like it. Next up for me, I did not come into this intending to fade Bubba Wallace by any means. I've talked about how I think he can have solid finishes, but just some of these matchups that he's in, I like these other guys. Christian Eckes is plus 100 against Bubba on Superbook. Eckes' results have been up and down, but he has been, like Heim, one of the fastest cars week in and week out. It seems like every week he shows up, he qualifies well, he runs up front. He's gotten caught up in the bad luck a few different times. That's the only part of it that scares me. But if he does not get caught up in a wreck and they just run the race, he will be faster than Bubba Wallace. And getting him again at plus money, I think, is a good deal. Again, some of these lines where you get these Cup guys in here, and I think they're trying to get the public to say, well, why wouldn't I take the Cup guy over this? I might not even pay that much attention to the Truck Series. Like, I haven't even heard of this Eckes guy. Like, what's he done? So they're going to take the Bubba Wallace side of things. So I think that gives you the discount and gives it to you at plus money. So give me Christian Eckes over Bubba Wallace at plus 100 on Superbook.
I love it. Like I said, I mean, Bubba Wallace, for all that he's going to be in that one truck and for all that, like you said, the public's going to want to go, oh, Bubba Wallace over a Truck Series regular? Of course, give me that. But, that just feels like a trap at this point. Which is why, other than like Bubba, I wouldn't take a Truck Series regular over Byron or over Larson, because even though it can happen,
a real good price. Yeah.
Unless you again, it can happen. It absolutely can happen and probably will. But I don't want to be.
They don't really have those matchups this week. Like we've seen in the past where they do have like Zane Smith matched up against these guys. I didn't really see many of those types of you got Zane Smith and Christopher Bell. I mean, I guess that one I might take the Zane Smith side of things, but it's only plus 120, and Bell's minus 140, which is ridiculous. I would definitely not take that side of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's more the Cup guy. I mean, they've got Byron and Larson head to head. They've got Bell and Byron head to head. But yeah, not really any of the truck. And I put this in at the end. This is the bonus bet. If you can find any head to heads against Ross Chastain, take them. We know he sucks in this truck most of the time. But again, he does. It's sorry, but he's not that good in this truck. So, but I hate there's no head to heads against him, because I think the books are figuring out finally that 42 truck, or 41 truck rather, is not that great.
Yeah, it's really not. So, all right. Well, I was gonna go with one and I changed my mind. I wanna actually. So here's the thing: some of the head-to-heads and everything like that, they're all fine and well, but I feel like I want to go back to the well with a winning truck number, and I'm gonna do again, because I saw the plus money side of this and I like this better. I was gonna give you 0 to 9, but I sort of talked myself out of Bubba Wallace having a chance. So the winning car under 35 and a half. Of course, later I'm going to contradict myself as to what, but this is a good hedge, because under 35 and a half, you have got, again, you've got Kyle Larson in there. You've got Christian Eckes. You've got Grant Enfinger. You've got
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim is in there as well. So there's a lot to rest your hat on in this one. I do like the possibilities of that. Obviously, above that, you've got, all the heavy hitters like Byron and all that. But again, I just think this gives you a wide swath of drivers. And at plus money, if half the field wrecks out again and there is a car that is the 19 car that crosses the finish line, you win this again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, again, I don't argue with Rod on his number and his pit stop bets. He's the king when it comes to that.
I love it. All right, well, I guess it's time to get to some winners. Should we get to some winners?
Man, we've cruised through this episode quickly, Rod, but
we're men on missions, man. We
are.
Want to get you guys the bets today.
That's right. Yeah, just nice quick truck series. I mean, again, there's not too much to prep for in this really, there's not all these comparable stats and everything, so guess it makes it a little easier. And I feel really good about these ones this week. So, winners for me. I am going to skip right over the Cup Series guys. Again, it's throwing darts. We've seen it how many times where they don't win. Would I be surprised if it's Larson? Would I be surprised if it's Byron? Would I be surprised if it's Bell? Absolutely not. Of course, these guys can win. They're Cup Series superstars for a reason. They've all won Cup Series races this season. So I would not be surprised by that at all. So I'm going to throw my sprinkles out here. Zane Smith, 10-1. Ridiculous to get Zane Smith at 10-1 anywhere, anytime. I don't care who's in the field. That is crazy. This is over on Superbook, our new favorite book as of lately here. But Zane Smith, 10-1. It's just incredible value. I already talked about him earlier, made the case for his top 5. We know that he can beat these Cup guys head to head. And that's if they don't have problems as well. So 10-1, give me Zane Smith. Corey Haim, been talking him up the whole show, of course. 16-1, also over on Superbook. Again, he has been so fast. Should have cashed our 18-1 last week. The crew chief screwed it up. I'm giving the crew chief a break. And this is his chance to redeem himself and hit an 18-1 for us. So hopefully he doesn't make the same mistakes. But I love some Corey Haim this week. I think he's going to be a very truck as well. And Stuart Friesen, I mentioned it earlier. I had him in a dream, so I can't not bet on him. I feel like it's a sign from the racing gods. I don't know what it is, but I will take it anyways. He's 30-1, so if he was kind of down in this 15-1 range, I probably wouldn't have even thrown him on here. But at 30-1, I think Stuart can do it. And again, you go back to these last 2 races, and he finished was he second? Yeah, second last week at Darlington, and that was to Christian Eckes. That was above William Byron. It was above Bubba Wallace, above Ross Chastain. I think there might have been another Cup Series guy in the field. He beat some Cup Series guys as well, and was 4th place at Kansas. So we know that Stewart can get it done. He's one of those guys, kind of like a Enfinger, where he just kind of like pops up and randomly wins a race all of a sudden, or has the best truck on the night all of a sudden for whatever reason. So at 30-1, can't pass it up. Give me a little sprinkle on Stuart Friesen.
So I'm going to just go ahead and be on record as saying that Zane Smith would have been who I would have picked as well.
I know. When I saw that number, I scrambled to the document as fast as I could, because I figured that Rod would have that already, but I beat him.
Yeah, no, and honestly, Zane Smith is always the truck to beat, in my opinion, until he's not. And
10-1
yeah,
that's crazy. I can't believe he's 10-1. It's insane. Get in on this early, because when he qualifies up front, it's going to shrink fast.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. You're not going to get that at 10-1. So, unless they don't change even after qualifying, I don't know. I take that for what it's worth.
Who knows? But I'd get it early.
Yeah, me too. So, like I said, I fully endorse your Zane Smith and co-sign on you. But I will throw in mine, and I'll just give you William Byron. I really think that he was one of the stronger trucks. We know that 51 truck is strong every single week, no matter who is in it. And you're getting Byron at plus 350. If this was Byron at plus 150, if this was Byron at plus 200, I may not necessarily care, but this is Byron at plus 350. And I feel like that's still good enough value on a regular to toss something out on it. Because again, if he does come out and dominates this race, like Cody said, it's not very long. You got good short speed short, what do you call
short run? Short
run speed. These guys don't understand what we've been through already today. If you got good short run speed, you're gonna pull away and you're gonna stay up front for a good long time. So William Byron has proven that he can do that. 2 top 5 finishes already in the trucks, 1 on Bristol dirt. So he's a good short track racer in these trucks. I think if you're gonna pick one, I'd pick Byron because Larson again could run away with it, but I don't like Larson's odds all that much. Larson is at
he's plus 300. Yeah. Well, and I think that the fact that you have 3 big hitting Cup drivers in the truck race actually helps you if you want to bet on a Cup guy. If it was only William Byron in this race, or only Kyle Larson in this race, or only Christopher Bell in this race, they would be plus 150, plus 100, maybe even if it was just Larson, it might be minus 150. Like we've seen that with Kyle Busch before when he's really the only one. And so since there's 3 big hitters in here, you throw Bubba's in there as well, and Ross Chastain, whatever. And Ross is in this race. What is Ross's odds?
I was about to
20 to 1. I would not even suggest taking that. It's not
18 on Caesars. There's not.
But it does make the odds better. So if you corner the guy you want, you got Larson at 300, you got Byron at 350, you got Bell at 600. I mean, you corner the one you want, take them. You're getting a discount because the other guys are in this race. Now, obviously, they have to beat those other guys as well, but you are still getting the better price if you hit the right guy.
I agree. All right. Wow, Cody. It's probably the most concise truck episode we've done.
We had a short one a couple of weeks ago, but this one might even be a little shorter. It's we're cutting. We took that first episode this week was a pretty long one. We had the Bob Pockris interview. If you haven't listened to that, we kept this one short so you can go back and listen to it. See, so there you go.
Giving you plenty of opportunity to go back.
Definitely go back and check that out. Oh man, that was such a good time talking to Bob. He talked about betting on NASCAR, which I thought was great that we could have that conversation with him. And then told stories about being there in 2001 when Dale Jr. won and gave us his pick. Obviously, William Byron, his early lean at least for Wilkesboro, and talked about Wilkesboro and everything. So what he expects this weekend. Great conversation. Definitely go back and check that out. But man, I'm pumped for this race, this weekend of racing. Going to be a good one. Again, we've been spoiled lately with these styles of tracks, these high tire wear tracks. Goodyear, pay attention, please. These high tire wear tracks give us good racing every time. Make tires that wear. I'll be more prone to buy one for my personal vehicle if you keep giving us a good show.
Cody's gonna have a pit crew waiting for him on the freeway.
I'll buy Goodyears if you keep making Goodyears that wear out faster on the racetrack, because that's what I want from you.
every 25 miles or so, all of a sudden you just see Cody zip, 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 zip. I love it. All right, get out your pen and paper. We're gonna go over the bets for you for this Tyson 250 from North Wilkesboro, the North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina. Cody started you off with the number 11 car that he likes, or the number 11 vehicle rather that he likes. Corey Heim over Bubba Wallace at minus 110. I said that Carson Hocevar was going to finish better than Nick Sanchez at minus 120. Cody said Zane Smith as a top 5 car at plus money. Yes, please, at plus 120. However convoluted it may have been in whatever tabs I was clicking in between, I still believe that Grant Enfinger is going to finish better than Corey Heim at minus 115. And then Cody said Stuart Friesen was going to finish better than Rhodes at minus 110 over on Superbook. I said in the battle of the Hendrick drivers in Truck Series, I would take William Byron over Kyle Larson at plus 105 over on Caesars. Cody said that Christian Eckes was going to do better than Bubba. Pretty much the field is going to do better than Bubba this week at plus 100 on Superbook. I said the winning car, go ahead and hedge with that one under 35.5 if you like a Kyle Larson and anybody else in there at plus 115. Cody and I both agree that Zane Smith is the play this week at 10 to 1. But Cody also threw in Corey Heim at 16 to 1 and Stuart Friesen at 30 to 1 over there on Superbook. And then kind of tossed in a fade Ross Chastain if you can find one in there. Just if there's a head-to-head. We haven't seen it yet, right?
No, I was unable to find any Ross Chastain head-to-heads. But, again, we know if everybody has different options, more things kind of come out throughout the week sometimes as other sites like Barstool doesn't have their matchups up yet. Maybe something will come out. But if you get anyone of any decency a decent driver rather that is against Ross Chastain, I would advocate to take them because we've seen it. He's not been great in this truck. It just and we made the case for Hocevar even today, and that truck seems to be good. But you would think with Ross and the talent, he's uber talented. We all know that. That's not a secret, but he just can't seem to get it out of this truck for whatever reason. So unfortunately, maybe the books have learned after getting their tails kicked time after time of fading him. But if you get any of these guys matched up against Ross, just because he's a Cup Series guy, take the other side.
There's only so many times you can poke me with a hot poker before I realize that you're poking me with a hot poker. I'm pretty sure that's what the Cubs feel, or the books feel like right now, right?
Well, and that's one of the hardest parts about betting on NASCAR or betting on any sport really is like the books aren't completely stupid. Like they're going to figure out, wow, we're getting nailed on. Like we're not tricking people into thinking, wow, this is a Cup Series guy that we're, and they're going to take that side of things. Like they're getting their hides kicked and so, yeah, they'll learn, but that's all right. We'll find different ways to get them always.
We sure as hell will.
That's
what we're here for. And then I closed up shop by saying, if you want to pick a Cup driver, go ahead and sprinkle something on William Byron at plus 350. Again, the price is right there. Above all, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to this, have fun this weekend. That's what this whole weekend is supposed to be about. It is the ultimate of throwback weekends. I know Darlington was the official throwback weekend, but this is literally a bringing NASCAR history to your television type of a weekend. So I know we love to bet. I know we love to have fun giving the picks. I know we love to sweat, but take a second to really just appreciate what you're watching, exactly what it is that we are given this weekend in the track, in the spectacle of it all. Take it all in, because NASCAR is doing this so you can do that. And really it'd be a waste of a weekend if you didn't.
Yeah. And they're going to highlight stuff on TV too, but Bob has that tweet pinned of the video. His, These Kids Don't Know or whatever it is series where he goes back and talks about Wilkesboro. Look up the pictures. Like this literally was left for dead. Like they stopped taking care of it. It was abandoned. I think there's a tree growing through the flag stand. Like it was literally just left for dead. And now they're going to put on a massive NASCAR racing weekend. Like it's great to see it. Great for that community. They still have the original, Winston Cup sign over there. They weren't allowed to touch it because you can't advertise tobacco or whatever anymore, however that works. But since they left it as like a historical piece, it can still be there. They repainted all the concessions and stuff, but it's all like the old style look and the nod to like the Winston Cup era. It's great. I wish I could be there for this weekend because that would be really cool to see in person, but going to be great on TV as well. So yeah, let's go win some money on trucks, Rob.
Let's do it. I think next year we're going to have to, if they do something again, Cody and I are going to have to make a pilgrimage.
Might be one to meet up at for sure.
Some press access and everything for you guys. So, all right. Well, all that's left to do now is go place those bets and sit back and enjoy. A couple episodes left for us. Obviously, DFS on the slate, and we got one more for you where we'll figure out something fun to fill out the week for you.
That's right. We'll we don't know what we're doing yet, but there'll be an episode for sure.
Indeed. All right. Well, Cody, let's send everybody on their way with this nice little brisk truck episode. Let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Yep. Follow me on Twitter at Husker_Zeeb. Follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Get over in the Discord. I gotta give our buddy Ty Tiger a shout out. He changed his Discord name to Mr. 4-Star Reviewer. So glad he enjoyed our fun we had with him on yesterday's show and is fully embracing it. I love it. So shout out to him.
This is what I'm talking about when I talk about family atmosphere. That is exactly what this has become. I know he was like, man, you guys are giving me the business. Yeah, we were, but we were doing it out of love because, I mean, you've been one of our staunch supporters for a while now, and it's just been so much fun to get to know everybody. And what better way to show our love than to give you a few good razzings on the show?
Exactly.
All right, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio to everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's in between media. Hey, I am back on for frequency's sake. Look out for a new article on the website. There's a link in the bio to find it. A lot of fun being back with those guys, so keep an eye out for that. All right, we'll catch you later on this week for DFS and a fun episode to close out the week. Till then, let's go racing and let it ride.